today with a little bit of something different. Going to be doing a Wicked suspension 4-inch premium suspension kit on my new daily driver. My buddy Vinny's back here gonna help out. Project Sam Squanch, the world's fastest geo tracker, baddest geo tracker on the planet. Check him out. Not real good at these selfie kind of videos, so I'm gonna do my best here, and we're gonna try to show some of the process of doing the suspension on this truck. We've got a list of other upgrades that we're going to be doing to this truck as well. Again, it's my daily driver. It's what I tow the stuff to the races with. So we're doing Wicked's 4-inch suspension kit. We got some wheels and tires. It's going to be in another video coming up. They're going to be doing some big 22x12, possibly hostiles. And pretty excited about it. Hopefully do some performance upgrades. This is not a Cummins. It is a gasser. I thought it'd be kind of cool to not do what everybody else is doing and just hop up super expensive diesel truck. So we've got the 6.4 liter 392 Hemi in this bad boy, and there'll be some videos down the road of some upgrades we'll be doing on that as well. Give it a little bit more horsepower, a little more towing ability. But for right now, we're going to focus on this suspension. We're going to try to, again, it's my first time doing a video like this, so I'm going to try to show everybody some of the step-by-step process. It's not overly complicated, and Jordan and the boys at Wicked Suspension give you these really good manuals. I've already read through these really good detailed instructions. All the hardware is packaged up, ready to go. You got a vibration dampener kit that he also engineered that comes with the kit. So we have our radius arm drop brackets, our rear coil spacers, our front coil spacers, and our track bar relocation bracket. Again, all the hardware is packaged, it's all labeled, and Tom powder coating did this illusion purple for me. Thought it looked pretty cool with the silver and black night edition ram. And also an option on the Wicked suspension is Fox shocks. So those will look pretty cool up front once we get rid of some of the factory components that are up here. So let's get to work. Step 1, remove the tie rod from the Pitman arm. You're going to say, how the hell do I do that without damaging anything? Well, just smack the side of the Pitman arm and she breaks free. All right, so the first few steps are all out of the way. We got the coil springs out. Basically, you disconnect the shocks, disconnect your sway bar links, disconnect your track bar, the Pitman arm from the tie rod. Obviously, that's the first thing you do. And the reason you have to do all that is so you get that axle down far enough. If you leave all that stuff disconnected, it'll never go down far enough to get the coil springs out, much less reinstall the coil springs with a 4-inch spacer on the top. So we have everything out of there. The next step is there's a electronic dampener that's on the side of the frame. I think it's just on these gas motor trucks. And the Wicked kit comes with a spacer kit where you space it away from the frame, because you have to stick a big bolt behind it that goes through the frame rail. There's a factory hole there. You just got to clean it out with a die grinder. And then the radius arm drop bar brackets go up in the factory position for the radius arm, and then plus that one extra hole that's behind that electric dampener. So that's what we're going to do right now. Got to be concerned with safety, so I highly recommend Black Flies. Not only do they make cool sunglasses, they make ballistic safety glasses as well. Good for shooting out in the yard or grinding out holes on a truck. So you've got these little sleeves. That's what we're die grinding out for. This goes up inside the factory frame rail through a factory hole, so that the drop bracket goes up around, and when you tighten the bolt, it doesn't actually crush the frame. It has this sleeve in there. So when you're die grinding the holes out, don't make it so that it's so loose that this just slides in and out really easy. It needs to be able to press fit in with the nut and bolt, and it kind of sandwiches it tight inside the frame rail so that it stays and it doesn't spin inside the frame. We'll show you guys what we mean by these little sleeves. So this is your, it's some sort of electric stabilizer, and it's bolted to these 4 bolts. Wicked gives you a spacer kit that spaces this out. So once you pull this off, this hole right here in the factory frame rail, you have to use a die grinder, clean that out, and then this little sleeve right here goes in there. And they go right up, they bolt here, they bolt here. So you'll have the head of a bolt here. That's why you have to space this out. And then this gets dropped down with the bracket. So I figured it'd be a little easier to show that and try to explain it. That's one of the only things that I guess isn't real self-explanatory when you're looking at this kit. So just show you a little attention to detail we like about Wicked. When you're putting this in, this nut goes on the inside. It's already all cut out to accept the nut. Thanks, Jordan. Just installed the track bar bracket. So the next step in the instructions is install your shocks. Now it's different if you're running your factory shocks. They'll supply you with a spacer that drops your factory shocks down a little bit, but these are done by Fox to the proper length per the kit for Wicked. So we're going to get these put on next. So we got coils installed, shocks looking pretty sweet. Always make sure the Wicked W's proud and facing out. One thing that's not in the instructions that we did, we disconnected this brake line right here, undid this bolt, and let this brake line kind of hang because we had to get the axle so far down to get that coil placed back in there that I didn't like the tension it was putting on that brake line. So we just took that bracket loose so that the brake line had a little more slack. Front end is done. Looking good. We've got the Wicked track bar relocation bracket in there. Got our Fox shocks attached. Coil spacers. Everything's bolted back up. Drive shaft went right back together. Our radius arm drop brackets. One thing we noticed that we had to do it twice because we didn't pay attention to the instructions close enough is these little spacers in here are different lengths. So there's that spacer there, and it looks just like the spacer that you have to shove in the frame rail up here that we did the die grinding. They're different lengths. Don't get them mixed up. Otherwise, you end up having to take this all back apart and changing out your spacers in there. Other than that, it went together really good. Looks sweet. Now it's on to the back after lunch break. truck had shifted a little bit while I was messing with everything, so the track bar wasn't lining back up, so the frame had to go that way or the axle had to go that way. Since we obviously can't move the axle because it's sitting on the ramps, took a ratchet strap, grabbed the whole of the frame, and just pulled it that way a little bit to get the track bar back where it's supposed to be. Because if you didn't know, that's the whole purpose of this bar, is to keep your truck from doing this on your axle. Well, that's it. That's the rear part. Doing spacers. Everything all put back in place. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Just like the instructions say, you got to really make sure that the top of your coil spring sits flat when you go to put it back in. Everything's angled, the rubber is angled, the coil spring is angled, so you want to get the truck just touching that spring and turn it one way or the other to make sure that it sits flat up against the bottom of the truck. That's it. All right, there she is, all done, ready for a cool looking set of wheels and tires. And thank you to Jordan and the guys at Wicked Customs for always building a quality American made product. Me and my buddy knocked this thing out here in a few hours, and with minimal tools and very easy to read instructions. Really pleased with the result. The truck has a nice stance, a really nice stance. We throw some wider wheels and tires on it, but there you go. If you're interested in doing a 4-inch kit, premium suspension kit from Wicked, there you go. There's how to do it. It's pretty